Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your girl, Key Ice. Welcome to another episode of Rep My Block. This is a web show that we have going on Facebook and on YouTube. So let's get started. We actually have a special guest today, and I'm really excited to bring him on. But first, we're going to talk a little bit of what's going on in trending and entertainment this week because a lot's been going on. Like, I don't know if y'all been keeping up, but we definitely been keeping up. It's not as much as last week, but it is quite a bit going on. First of all, happy birthday to Glorilla. She just celebrated a birthday yesterday, July 28th. And she posted a hint to us that she has a new release. I'm thinking it's going to be called Leo because that's the only type of symbol that's on here. But shout out to her. She's been doing her thing and she has had so much success within the past year. It's not even funny. Much love to her. Then we got Lotto. Lotto actually just recently was featured as the number one on the Billboard Hot 100. And as y'all may know, the Billboard Hot 100, like Billboard, they were saying, basically, they were like, no rapper for 2023 had been featured as, for the number one spot. But she actually has a single out called Seven with one of the BTS singers. And so that single is the one that actually hit the number one spot. And I'm like, dang, Lotto, she won Best Female Hip Hop Artist for the BET Awards. And now this, this is just major. Much congratulations to her. And for all the artists that we speak on during the show, as you can tell, we got the Instagram showing for them. So make sure y'all are following all these artists as well because they're definitely doing their thing and we're keeping up with what's going on. But shout out to Lotto for that. And Kanye West, he actually, even though he's been real quiet, and if you notice, we dropped the old Kanye pick. But anyway, he's been real quiet, but he's still been balling. Like in May, Adidas dropped the new Yeezys and he made close to $85 million just from that. So it's like sometimes that silence, you know what I'm saying? Like they say, silence is golden. So that's what I'm feeling right now for Kanye because I'm like, he's still balling doing his thing. And hopefully we'll hear some, new music from him soon. I know a lot of people are still mad about, like when he was going on his rants on social media and stuff like that. They were like, like cancel Kanye type of thing. But, at the end of the day, he has a certain way that he speaks, interprets things. And a lot of times when he says things, I think people are just misunderstanding. But at the same time, it may have been an intention type thing. Who knows? But in any case, shout out to him for doing his thing with the Yeezy still. Then I was actually really happy to see this happen because T-Rail and Juvenile, they recently did a song together. And it's actually a remix of Juvenile's song Rodeo. If you have not, if you don't know Rodeo, then I'm canceling you as a hip hop fan because it's actually like a slow mix. It's a slow mix, and you have to listen to it. It's real mellow. We actually have that song right now on our home base radio vibe playlist over on Spotify. It's also on Apple Music, Amazon Music, Deezer. So make sure you check it out. But that's the original that we got on there. But this song actually drops, I believe, August 4th is what T-Rail posted, I believe. And so we're really looking out for this one because this one is gonna be major. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it already. I already know because T-Rail, he like one thing about him that I really like. He really promotes his stuff. Like he doesn't just put it out there for you to just you know, ruminate on. He actually promotes his stuff. So once this drops, best believe T-Rail is gonna be up on all his socials promoting this new single. Congratulations to them. And then Drake. I actually wanted to speak on this because this is one that we forgot to air last episode. And this is he actually had a recent interview with a new podcaster, if you will, by the name of Bobby Althoff. And so I actually wanted to show a little bit of their interview because it was really unique in the fact that it was like the whole interview was conducted in a bed. I mean, they're fully clothed and everything, but it was still in a bed. So I want y'all to take a look at this clip because I thought it was very interesting. I'll just say it like that. Very interesting.
I don't know any other questions.
Okay.
Do you have any other questions for
Not
me?
really. Not really. It's probably best you skedaddle home to be
Are you
mother of
gonna
the
buy me
year,
a
right?
flight home? Are you gonna buy me a flight home?
I can do that. It's the least I could do.
Can it be nonstop?
Hmm?
Nonstop.
Was that like a like the song?
No. What song?
The Drake song, nonstop.
Do you think it's funny when you reference your own songs?
No, I thought
People
you
can use that word and it doesn't mean your song.
I just thought that you were ending the interview on a note where you were like,
Uh-huh.
haha, I actually do know your songs.
No,
You were just asking
I
for
don't
a
know your
flight.
songs.
Okay. All right. I got excited.
No.
Okay.
Y'all, that was very awkward. I don't know what you thought about it, but I thought it was like, um, you know how they say cringe worthy or whatever. I felt like that was kind of cringe because he thought he assumed that she was talking about his song, but she was just talking about a nonstop flight. And so, yeah, that was kind of weird. But if you check out some of her other interviews, she actually just recently interviewed Lil Yachty as well. And that interview was interesting too. And then she also posted something where she's doing some type of dance, talking about the industry, Planet Me, and all this stuff. People are believing it. I mean, but yeah, that was an interesting interview. You actually can check that out on her page, and he has a clip on his page as well. But I do also want to go into Tyler the Creator because he was recently being interviewed, and he actually has said he spoke on DJ Drama's Gangsta Grills podcast, and he actually was speaking about Jay-Z wanting to sign him to Rock Nation, and he turned Jay-Z down. It turns out he ended up turning him down because he said he wanted to have complete creative control over his own work, and I definitely understand that. Um, at the same time, I'm like, dang, you turned Jay-Z down, like, but Tyler the Creator has had much success regardless of that. So big ups to him, just for doing his thing on that. And if you haven't checked out DJ Drama's Gangsta Grills podcast yet, make sure you do because that is one of the top podcasts. And he actually has a mixtape coming out right now, well, real soon, with Yo Gotti. So that is a podcast to definitely check out. But I do want to get into some of the new releases that came out this week as well because first of all, we don't like to leave no good music behind. There were some mixed opinions about this particular album. It was Travis Scott. He's out of Houston, Texas. He just released his album called Utopia. And he has a song on the album called K-Pop that's featuring SZA in the video. And then there's a song on the album as well written by Beyonce. I was surprised to see her on the album. And there's a lot of special guest type appearances on it, even though like on the song title itself you won't see their names. If you look at the credits, you'll see that they are on that song, and I'm like, okay, this is interesting. I did get a chance to listen to the whole album through. One thing when it's like a major drop, me myself, I try to listen to the whole song through, or the whole album through. And so I had mixed feelings. I felt like maybe three tracks. I like maybe three tracks. I wasn't really feeling the album myself. If you check out the hip hop community's comments on it, not everybody's feeling it, and then there's some people that love it. But that's just how that goes. You know what I mean? And then Erica Badu, As y'all know, like this movie's trending. They cloned Tyrone on Netflix with Jamie Foxx, and it's been one of those things where it's like people were also having mixed views on like that whole movie, because first of all, a lot of people still think Jamie Foxx is cloned, and then second of all, the movie plot itself, I'm not going to give it away, but the movie plot itself, people were kind of iffy on that, like what's really going on here. But I did really like the whole soundtrack for this movie, because and during the movie I was thinking, man, I hope they had Erica Badu do a song for, you know what I mean, a song for this. And they did. She is on the soundtrack. They cloned Tyrone singing about it. So make sure y'all check out that soundtrack. It has a lot of good features on it. And then there was a drop by Cassidy featuring Fred Money. It's been a minute since Cassidy dropped anything. I was surprised to see this one, but it's a nice track. We actually featured it on our Hip Hop Head Stuff on Repeat playlist over on Spotify. And the song is called Fair Exchange. Cassidy, as y'all know, is out of Philly. So shout out to Cassidy for that. And then Yo Gotti, this was a big drop as well, because it's been a little hot minute since Yo Gotti has released something, but he just recently released No Fake Love, and he's, as everybody knows, he's out of Memphis. And I noticed on like the comments of the drop of this song, because first of all, it's deep. It's like a storytelling type of track. So you want to make sure you pay attention to the words. But for one thing, I noticed in the comment section, because it was around the anniversary of Young Dolph's death, and so a lot of people were saying, R.I.P. Young Dolph and stuff like that. Happy birthday, you know what I mean? So I was like, okay, but it's a decent track. Something definitely to take a look at. We have it on one of our playlists for Home Base Radio as well. And then Offset with Cardi B. Offset's out of Lawrenceville, Georgia, near the ATL area, but they recently dropped Jealousy. This track, they put the kids in the song, in the video. I was like, okay, I'm not sure about that, because if you listen to the words, it's like, okay, not kid friendly at all. But what I did like about the promotion of this particular song was that on Cardi B's socials, she had posted like she basically, posted, both of them posted the album cover first of all. So that was cool. But I liked how when you click on the link, it's Offset's link. So it's like, I saw that, it's like, okay, that's the husband and wife teaming up to, promote this new track. And I really like that a lot. We also had Motion by Yella Beezy that dropped. He's out of McKinney, Texas, out in the DFW area, Dallas Fort Worth. Shout out to Yella Beezy. But yeah, this track Motion, I thought it was interesting because it's been a minute for him as well, releasing another track. But it's something that, if you're Yelly, basically, I'll say a Dallas, Texas, if you're a Dallas, Texas hip hop fan, period, then that's something to check out. You want to check that one out too. Doja Cat, we mentioned her a few times on our show before. She always has a tendency to like say some off the wall stuff to her fans. Like she'll just post a tweet saying just anything. And I really think she speaks her mind. It's not nothing where she's like trying to really get attention, but people tend to think she's trying to get attention. So they're like, what's she talking about? But anyway, she recently posted something talking about get off your phone, get a job, and help your parents with the house. She was talking to her fans. Like she's one artist, she literally be dogging her fans. I don't know if y'all be listening, like following her at all, but she kind of dogs her fans, and they still follow her, they still listen to her music. But I think they just like the fact that she keeps it real, and so anyway, she had dropped a song called Attention back in June, and we recently added that to a hip hop and sing playlist over on Spotify for Home Base Radio, because it's featuring her singing as well as rapping. Of course, that's one thing I do like about Doja Cat, regardless of all the other stuff going on about her. But we are going to speak on the ways to get featured, because we get a lot of submissions. We get a lot of email submissions. Wait, our submissions come from everywhere. We get inbox submissions, email submissions, but the main way you want to submit properly, at least, is through the email. And we're still going through all the email. We have a artist radar playlist over on Spotify where we're adding the submitted tracks. And so any artists that you're like curious, like what kind of artists are submitted to them, you can check them out over there. And those artists, they're mostly up and coming artists as well. And so like some of them are real well known in their areas, some are not as known, but that's definitely a playlist to check out. And so for EPKs, we got our hip hop EPK website where if you already have an EPK, you can submit that EPK. And if you don't have one, then we can create one for you for a fee, a decent fee. And then we also have press releases that we do and interviews as well for any promo runs that you're doing for any of the new drops or new album releases. And then we also offer song analytics because that's something that a lot of artists, they'll just put the music out there and just forget about it. They don't really like track who's listening to what. And so that's something that we could do for artists as well. And that's like as far as like administrative, that's a really big administrative responsibility to do because it's like you want to know, like once you go on tour, you want to know what cities actually have fans listening to you and stuff like that. So that's one service we definitely recommend to check out. But of course, for all of our services, because this is just a few, but for all of them, you can check out homebasepromo.com and hit us up there. But we got a special guest today. I'm so excited for this special guest. I'm going to go ahead and bring him on. He is out of the Austin, Texas area, and his name is Nook Turner.
How you doing? Thank you for
How
having
you
me.
doing?
I'm
Oh, thank
good.
you
I'm
for
good.
being on the show.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Appreciate you being here. So I want to start off because before we get into the events you got going on, because I know you got some events coming up, and let's talk about the music first though, because you've been out for a minute and you have some really prominent tracks out there. Um, First of all, though, from being out of the Austin, Texas area, can you kind of tell us like what the hip hop scene has been in Austin, and if you feel like it's represented well within Texas?
I mean, the Austin hip hop scene is kind of eclectic. It's different. It's kind of a mash pot of everything because Austin has yet to date to actually establish a sound. And so you have the influence of Houston, which established a sound, and even our counterparts in Dallas, they established a sound with the boogie movement. And so where you have Austin and San Antonio is still developing what that niche or what that sound is. But we have a lot of talent here, a lot of great artists, a lot of great opportunities here that artists here need to take more advantage of. Of course, everybody knows that South by Southwest is in the city, so a lot of times the artists here we get lazy because we got one of the biggest music conferences in the world in our backyard, and so you'll see during South by we grind hard, and then when South by goes away, we kind of go back to sleep until next year. Whereas like in Dallas, Houston, even San Antonio, you don't have the opportunity to go to sleep. There's professional sport teams there. It's big there. It's always celebrities there, and so that opportunity to fall back, you will lose where you at. Where Austin, we really just kind of fall asleep a lot of times outside of South by. So we've been pushing to move that. But I think we're on the verge right now. We got some hot new artists here that are breaking out nationally. And then of course the work that I've been doing with not only rapping but facilitating and offering a event or a platform to where artists can catapult from, like we did back in the late 90s, early 2000s with the same program Jump On It that I run. So definitely Austin is a spot to be at. We just got to take advantage of it as artists that are born and raised in the city.
Oh yes, definitely. And it was interesting to hear you, because we're in the San Antonio area, but it's interesting hearing you say that about Austin artists in general, how like after South by Southwest is over, how everybody kind of like, goes back into chill mode. So that was really
Mhm.
interesting to hear because like, artists in this area, they're definitely always trying to just get out there to be featured on showcases and perform out there. But as far as your music, how would you set yourself apart from other artists that currently doing music out there?
I mean, the Nook Turner movement is kind of speak for itself. It's pretty much after my hero Nat Turner. So,
Okay.
so my music is more of a rebellious, liberating. Let's get to freedom. What I call freedom, Bread City, and Bread City is pretty much a state of mind. It can be a physical location too, but it's a state of mind to where you have everything you want. When you think of heaven, you think of the land of milk and honey. You think of bread. You think of positive things, and so that's what a Bread City thing is, and we're fighting for that. So my music kind of separates itself because I'm more of a passionate artist. I'm more experienced. I've been through things. I got substance and something to talk about. So what I do as a musician, it'll last forever. It's not trendy. It's not what's popping right now. It's what something that'll hit you right in the chest. So I'm happy about that. I'm getting ready to start putting more time into the music. I end up putting more time into the community activism, the advocacy for the youth, the program and everything we're doing, that my music at times had to take a back seat for the bigger picture to save our people in this city. But definitely the music needs to run parallel with that. My latest record that we've been pushing is a song I have with the late great Mo3 out of Dallas, and Trina, the baddest herself. That's called Put Your Hustle First. That's doing really well. So now it's just time to smash the gas on it, and turn up. So after we get through with our events this year, we going back into that and making that really do what it do. But I have a lot of different national homies and bros that I got on records, and a lot of people know me all over the world. So now it's just time for me to keep the music in the forefront. That's what we're working on.
For sure. I feel you on that. And I like the fact that, because I listened to some of your tracks, and I like the fact that, you have a message. It's not just like whatever's trending type of thing. You're not just speaking on that. You actually have a message in the music. And as far as the Put Your Hustle First, um, how did that come about? Like, how did that collaboration come about with Mo3 and Trina?
Well, the relationships was kind of garnered through Jump On It and me bringing them to town multiple times. And so we started bringing Trina to Austin in 2014. And so throughout the years, we kind of worked with them and built a relationship. I built a relationship with Mo3 and his manager, Rainwater. And so that record actually came about is I was just going through some old songs with my cousin over here, and he heard the song and he was like, "You got to put Mo3 on that record." And I was like, "You think so?" He was like, "Yeah, that'd be perfect." And so I ended up reaching out to Rain. We ended up working it out to get Mo3 to do the record. The sad thing about it is he died like 3 days after I got his vocals in, and we wasn't even finished doing the entire record. And so that was like right on the eve of everything getting ready to move and go into motion. He died. And so after that, we were bringing Trina into town, and I was talking to them about, Mo3, and kind of find out they knew Mo3. And so I let them hit a record, and she was down to jump on it. So we flew out to Miami and, did her parts there, enjoyed that. And she pretty much co-signed the whole movement to where even now, if she have shows, like I can pull up and she'll bring me out. She came through Austin on a big tour at the HEB Center and jammed down, and she brought me out, and we rock with each other. But it's just building genuine relationships with people and being who you are, not trying to be like everybody else. Just staying in your lane, being true to you, and then those relationships, those opportunities will open up. So now I'm taking advantage of them where in the past I was not. I
Mm,
was more focused on, let me do this event, let me make sure that
yeah.
this is good, the community good. But now I'm like, I got to start cashing in on some of the things that I've done out there to benefit me. Because when I become more of a commodity for the city, it makes the city better. And so that's where we at now. That's another, to answer one of your questions also about Austin hip hop, is thinking about it now, a lot of artists from Austin, like I say, at the South by Southwest, we get lazy. One thing is we don't leave the city. If you
Mm,
look at any major artist that's blowing up in the country, they're not at home. You look at
yeah.
Austin artists, even the ones that got the buzzes going, they at the house. And so that's one thing we got to do, is we got to get on that road and get out the city. So I'm preaching to myself when I say that as well, because that's what I'm working on doing.
That's what's up. Yeah. I mean, you're right on that for sure. That's really key, to definitely get out the city. And R.E.P to Mo3 for sure, because like
Yeah,
that
man.
was definitely tragic right there when that happened.
We thought it was a joke at first. So how you
But
had the stuff online and people will post stuff and it ain't real. And
uh-huh.
then right prior to that, he had did a video shoot where he actually got shot, and he was on there. You know, people thought, and it wasn't real, so it almost felt like it wasn't real.
Yeah.
And then after that, I got super angry at the whole situation because I'm just tired of seeing us kill each other, and I'm
Right.
tired of the music promoting that, and I'm tired of everybody just likes to be, clickbait, something to click on, and everybody's so in tune to the beef and the negativity that we don't never say these are lives here. These are parents, these are brothers, these are sisters, these are people. We get more hype into the negativity, and so I went through a moment where I was real pissed off about it, and and I was upset, and so I think that whole song, it was key to say put your hustle first, because you got to put what's going to make you great first. You got to put what's going to make you successful first. And we put beefing and we put our feelings before facts. And I don't
True.
care how you feel right now, because how you feel now might change in an hour, but the fact gonna remain the same. And so we got to put that first, putting God first, and putting God first, that opens up your hustle, because he put you on earth to hustle, and that main hustle is to go hard, loving him, praising him, and being the best you can be, and taking advantage of the time you have here. And I think we put more emphasis on the value of money and less emphasis on the value of time. And time you never get back. You can spend money, lose money,
Right.
get it back. You don't get the time back. But you look in the hip hop culture, all we brag about is money and all expendable things that don't mean nothing at the end of the day. And so, yeah, I'm frustrated on that. So that's what the Nat Turner side come out to revolt and rebel on that, to say, hey, let's have fun, let's enjoy life, but let's do some real stuff that's gonna mean something now and in the future.
Right. Yeah. It's really deep, and you're right on the dot with that, because I mean, the streets are real, and sometimes when it's presented in the music, artists forget that still the streets are still out there after that song's over and things are happening. So yeah, really tragic that that had happened. And um, I do want to touch on your community activism, and if you can kind of speak on that, on what types of things have you been doing within the Austin community and even outside.
I mean, it's a lot, because Austin, a lot of people don't know the history of Austin, and the reason Austin was even established as a city, it was established as a midpoint between Mexico and Oklahoma during the war, and it was also established for slave agriculture.
Mm.
So that's what this city was about. It's even named after Stephen F. Austin, who was incentivized to come down from Missouri and bring down thousands of slaves. And back then, if you were Anglo, basically Texas has so much land and so big that you would get so many incentives, bonuses, things like that to bring in slave agriculture. And so that's been our whole situation. We've been fighting. Also, the Rosewood apartments or projects was the first projects in the history of the country. That was the first experiment where they put us into the per se ghetto, and dealt with the whole experiment of dropping in the drugs, the resources, and it's almost
Wow.
like Austin was that experimental city for that. So the slave
Wow.
agriculture and us having the first housing authority living a situation was in this city. And so Austin is as great as it's becoming, and popular and big, and as it's growing, it's also a city that has a lot of black blood in the streets. And we have a lot of sweat equity here, and we have a lot of injustices here. So I said all that to say that Austin right now is one of the fastest growing cities, one of the most expensive cities in the country, but it also blacks are almost extinct in the city. We're becoming a ghost or a relic, or our things are becoming museums. So,
Wow.
our population is so low here, that we almost, we'll be extinct in the city at some point, or damn near, where we don't have a voice. And so I'm part of an organization called Black Austin Coalition, and we were able to get a resolution passed unanimously through the city council that basically is making them undo their mistreatment of black people. And so it's calling for the city to build a black embassy that we're spearheading. And so we're working on some things here. If y'all want to Google the Black Embassy or Black Austin Coalition, you'll see Nook Turner amongst a lot of the great black leaders and pillars in the city, and we're fighting to change that, and we're fighting to get ownership in the city. And so that's real big right now in the forefront. And then my organization Jump On It. We've been in existence since 97. This is our 26th anniversary, and Jump On It was created to build community. The original name, Jump On It, was about jumping on reclaiming your name, your community, your people. And we're still fighting here in 2023, as beautiful as this city is. And everybody that don't live here love to come here. And tourism is big. For Blacks, there's nothing. And so Jump On It has evolved throughout the years to be a tradition in the community, but now it's working on making Austin a destination spot for Blacks. So like I mentioned South by Southwest earlier, that's a destination spot for everything except Black. ACL, you look at some of the big things, Pecan Street Festival, that make Austin a destination. Jump On It is now growing into Jump On It Week, to where we're going to fight to make Austin a spot to come for Blacks. Like they have Essence Festival and things like that, where they paint the city Black and they love the Black experience. Austin loves the Black experience and the culture, but they don't like the people, and they don't respect the Black people. So we working on changing that, and I'm active in the streets, changing that physically more than just being online talking about it. We actually making things happen.
Wow, that's awesome. And I did not know that about the Rosewood. You said it was the Rosewood Apartments complex
Yeah, and
that
they
they did
just
that experiment.
Yeah, and it's crazy. They just tore it down, but they tore
Wow.
it down because they gentrifying. So
Uh-huh.
it wasn't like, let's erase our history. It's like, okay, this worked as the experiment. We got our money, we got our stuff out of it. Let's herd the Blacks somewhere else, and now let's turn this into condos and things like that. And it bothers me that I run into so many people, because I'm born and raised on that same side of town. I'm East Side, original Black Austin,
Okay.
and people are actually mourning the loss of that complex. And I'm like, hey, we should be celebrating, but not just celebrating. We need to go down there and say, y'all better build Black right here, because they're going to rebuild it. It's not going to be Black. And they're going to sell
Yeah.
you affordable housing and everything that the city of Austin, I'm sure San Antonio and other cities, because the world is being gentrified. So it ain't just Austin.
Right.
Every major city went through gentrification, and white supremacy is haunting everybody. So my thing is, we got to start saying, we got to stand up for what we want, what we believe, and not allow it to happen anymore. And until we lock in with that, it's going to continue happening. And they use hip hop and everything else to distract us and keep our mind on the low vibration, instead of being elevated to really fighting and seeing what's going on. We miss all the damn context clues every time, but we'll get online and talk about how the hell Jamie Foxx is cloned, and we'll do all kind of videos and showing this and that. If we put that same energy into saving our communities and proving how these white folks got us in this city and all across the world, they wouldn't be able to do it. But we'll spend more time gossiping about entertainers and conspiracy theories instead of the stuff we see in our face. So I don't want to
True.
sound preachy and all that, but like, this comes from my heart. That's what I live, and that's what I've been fighting to change.
I mean, it's real though. I mean, it's definitely not preaching. I mean, this is, any platform, just speak it, because I mean, people need to hear it, and I definitely agree with that. And yeah, the gentrification is happening here in San Antonio as well, and yeah, everywhere. It's really crazy. It really is, and I mean, I'm really proud of you for like representing the Black community in Austin and doing what you're doing, because it really means a lot. A lot of people, of course, are not gonna necessarily recognize it as far as like the hip hop community, because they're focused on other things. But I mean,
Right.
at the end of the day, that's deep, and that means a lot. So thank
Well,
you, thank you for your
that's why they.
contributions.
Oh, you're welcome. I mean, that's what I was born to do, but that's why they strive so hard to keep hip hop young, because if you let it grow older, you're gonna let it gain wisdom. And
Yeah.
once it gains wisdom, like I tell my kids, like, wisdom is knowledge plus experience. So you can have knowledge about something, but not have wisdom to really know. You can, but once you fuse that knowledge with the experience, is wisdom. And so a lot of artists, when you're younger, your mind is somewhere else, and you glorify and you glamorize certain things. But when you get a little older, you start realizing different things, and they try to keep it young so that wisdom is not there. And then when an artist starts offering wisdom, then they try to erase you. And we're at the point now where we can control these computers, we can control our own narrative. Get off the Instagrams, get off of the threads, the TikToks, create our own platforms. And that's one thing we have to do. Create our own situation and build from what we doing, and where we want to be at. Like we fought so hard to integrate, which I have no problem with integration, but we lost ourselves in the process. We fought harder to be accepted by someone else and be part of something else instead of fighting hard to make sure what we had stayed what it is and we remain who we are. We lost ourselves in fighting to be part of everything else. Yeah, we equal, but we need to make sure that we are good regardless of what happened. And we spend more time fighting and dying for other people to treat us a certain way, but we don't treat ourselves that same way. Like we'll holler Black Lives Matter and fight when others do harmful things to us, but we don't fight to undo the self-engineering when we do it to ourselves. Like we should be just as
That's true.
pissed off. A black killer black, we should be just pissed off. We shouldn't be more pissed off because we did it to ourselves than as mad as we get as the others, because we already expect that. What do you expect for your enemy to do but attack you? So why the hell we always act surprised? What we should be surprised about is we keep on doing it to ourselves.
Yeah.
That should be what we out there rallying and getting on each other's tails on Keep It Clean on that. And so that's what Nook Turn is all about. That's why I do events. That's why I do what I do in the community, because I want to see us together, loving on each other, being happy, smiling, enjoying ourselves, and having a sense of community and us all working together. And if we can be entertained and let it be a turn up too, let's do that. But it's gonna always have some substance there, and that's what we're doing.
Most definitely. And speaking on the along the lines of the Black Wall Street, just having a, our own platform type of thing. What do you think about Diddy's Black Wall Street initiative and the fact that there was already a Black Wall Street app out there, and other initiatives like Killer Mike's Greenwood Bank and things like that? What do you think about those?
I love it. I love it. I have a different take on it, but I love what they're doing. That's one of another Nat Turner things is when he was planning his revolt, he didn't advertise it. He didn't market it. And I want black people to get to the point that we make these movements happen before people can discuss them happening, because then that's how they
Mm.
get destroyed and that's how they get sabotaged. So I would love everything Diddy's doing, everything Killer Mike. I would love to see what we can form our own platforms to communicate and discuss these things, and that it's not public information
Mm.
until you cannot stop it. Sometimes our stuff becomes public information and it allows the system and the things against us to then become roadblocks. I want us to get out of the situation where we have to publicly advertise. Some movements, some things in war, you got to be stealthy in your movement, and people can't know what you're doing until after you've done it. I want it to be a conversation one day to look up and say, oh man, there's $1 trillion in a black bank and they already building. Can't stop that at that point. But if there's a few million and we advertising it, you can stop that. When you start looking at the whole world, because this world is smaller than what we think. I was looking up the distance between the Africa and America, and I was showing my wife this, and it was like, it's not that far. The closest point from United States to Africa is like from Maine over to Africa is like 3,300 miles. So literally where we from in Central Texas, you could drive to California and back and be in Africa. But they make us think it's a whole world away. And that's
Wow.
my thing, is the world is smaller. And then
Wow.
we go under these names that we're the minority. Worldwide, we're the majority. They the minority. But they have us so
Wow.
fooled, and saying that the world is so small. When you start looking at the economics, black people all over the world are at the bottom of every economic system. Our most championed wealthy people here are at the bottom of the list. We love Oprah Winfrey. She rich. Robert Smith, not rich, wealthy. You put their money up against some of the low level billionaires that's in the world, the others, and it make us like we don't have nothing. So until we start realizing we don't have nothing, we got to start getting angry to fight to get something and working together on that. So we gotta establish an underground railroad again, and in the form of how we communicate on making movements that we don't publicize it. We publicize it before it happens and we open it up. That's like a military going to war with another military, but they're publicizing where they're going to attack it and how they're going to get out of a situation, then it's almost impossible for it to do anything. It just looks good for the moment and it's crushed. We got to pop up in a situation where they can't stop us. By the time they realize we have a movement, it's too late for them to stop it. It's too big. When we get to that point, that's when things will really change.
Wow,
That's my opinion on it.
that's deep. That's super deep. And wow. I mean, you made some really good points there, and that is so interesting about the distance from here to California compared to here to Africa. Wow.
It's a trip there and back, and you're in Africa. If you was on a boat, you'd be in Africa. It's that close.
That's a trip. Yeah, because like looking on the globe, just on any map, they make it seem like it's so far apart with like all the water in between and stuff. Wow, that's a trip.
They even make Africa look small when you can fit 7 United States of America into one Africa. That's how big Africa is.
Yeah, it's huge.
It's the largest continent. And then they even have us brainwashed to where we talk about Africa as if it's a country when it's a continent.
Right. Yeah, that's real deep stuff. And thank you for making those points on that. I mean, because that's so deep. It's not even funny. Let's take a look, because we actually have your website pulled up for the events that you have coming up, because they start tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow, Jump On It Week is 8 days, 14 events, 11 venues.
Whew. Wow, that is so awesome. I'm going to ask you some more questions on these events, but let's do it as we're like actually looking at the website, because this website, first of all, I love the website. It was done very well to demonstrate what's actually going on. And
thank you.
July 30th through August 6th. So we have Jump On It Week, and this started years ago. It's been going on for a long time in the Austin, Texas area. And this year I've noticed you have like some major artists. Like every year you have major artists out there, but it's not just the major artists that you have events for just regular everyday common people as well, which I really like. Can you as we kind of scroll through the website here, can you kind of speak on the events that we're looking at?
So right here you see the Jump On It Week. That's the general Jump On It Week with everything for the week. Our kickoff party is tomorrow, and that's going to be at Spinners. That's 21 and up. So our events span, we cater to ages 0 to 99. So they're going to be events specific for youth. They're going to be events specific for adults, and then they're going to be family type events. And so these 2 events you see here to say kickoff party and free barbecue and merch. The kickoff party is 21 and up. That's going to be a Spinners Bar and Grill. They have great food, delicious, nice spot. That's going to be fun starting tomorrow. And then the free barbecue and merch is our give back. We're going back to the original park where Jump On It started. Jump On It started as a summer concert series every Wednesday for the entire summer. This is our first time doing Jump On It Week. But so the free Jump On It, free barbecue and merch is our give back. We're giving away free barbecue. We're going to have music, vendors. You're going to get a lot of Nook Turner. You're going to get a lot of nostalgia from the late 90s when that started. So that's that event. Then you have the reunion skating and bowling party. That's all ages. Whole family can come out. We're letting everybody in free if they go on the site and register. So we'll have a number on the count for the venue, but we're going to bowl. We're going to party. And Millennium is another one of those Black historic locations that I was part of fighting to make sure it actually got built in the city. So we want to edify them that night, let them come in and, enjoy themselves. And then you got the throwback party. That's going to be adults 21 and up, but that's the nostalgia. So if you rocked with Jump On It back in the early 2000s, you grown now. So that's the throwback party for us to come, and everybody can kind of just have the nostalgia and live for a night, just kind of going back in time and enjoying yourself. Then we have the Shia Pro Conference and Gala, which is one of the most proud events that we have during this week because it's honoring prominent females in the city. It's a celebration. It encompasses all things Black backbone, because our women are the backbone. And so that's going to be parties. a gala, a conference with panels. We have Mimi Foss from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, Sonya Richards Ross from Housewives of Atlanta. That's going to be big.
Okay.
So you see that flyer there with Mimi Foss. She's actually the
Yeah.
keynote speaker on Friday, August the 4th, for the Sheer Pro Gala. And then, excuse me, we got the Fat Gator Weekend kicks off that same day, Friday, August the 4th. That goes all the way to Sunday, August 6th. And we have the Festival on the Lake. Excuse me, that's with D Baby. Oh, I'm coughing up. D Baby, Webby. It's gonna be a huge festival out on Walter E. Long Park, which is right off the lake. We're putting a stage right there next to the lake, and we're gonna party on the lake. You can boat, you can jet ski. It's gonna be tons of
Nice.
food vendors, games, you name it. Like we're gonna be rocking out. Let me drink me some water real quick. This
Okay.
is
Yeah.
hot as
Sure. For sure. Wow, you have so many events going on here. This is what's up.
Pastor Ox kickback by the pool. That's going to be exclusive to hotel guests only at the Embassy Suites. You can come out, listen to music, kick back at the pool. Then another one of my favorite events is the celebrity basketball game. This is our second year doing that game. This year we're doing the DJs and influencers versus the artists. So we got DJ Michael 5000 Watts of Swisher House, DJ Hella Yella against Kirk Cobain's and his team, and that's going to be a huge situation. We partnered up with the Austin Area Urban League. They're giving away free backpacks and doing a presentation. We got a halftime show by Kirk Cobain's, Big Homie Show, OTB Fast Lane. Like it's getting ready to be a party. We're at Givens Park there. Then my next favorite event is the Celebrating Our Culture. That's where we celebrate all things Black Austin. We working on getting horses out there. We're just gonna have a community out there. We're gonna have our public officials out there, and we're gonna celebrate Black culture and not be ashamed to do so. That's gonna be at Walter E. Long Park,
Okay.
and that's another event that's family friendly. We have the Texas versus Louisiana Silent Party. That's going to be hosted and music by DJ Michael Watts. And then we have the R&B Silent Party, and that's going to be powered by Cam, the tastemaker. He does a lot of events with the San Antonio Spurs and the Austin Spurs. So
Mhm.
he's definitely involved in the city. And then we move into, after that Saturday, that Sunday, we move into our boat parties where we have the Shia Pro, all white and pink boat party. And then if you scroll up, we have the
You said up.
yeah, there you go, right there. So, yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Then we have the Fat Gator all white boat party. So we have those boat
Okay.
parties, and then we have a couple private parties that are not listed. If you have tickets, you'll be getting the emails and you'll be getting the information on that. But yeah, we have 14 plus events in 8 days. We rocking out.
Awesome.
We paint the
Awesome.
city black and brown. You know, we got D Baby, we got our brown partners with us. We got, you know what I'm saying, Honcho Management, my partner Jay King. We got a lot. So we paint the city black and brown. It's going down. We uniting and we making this week do what it do. But the whole purpose is to celebrate Black culture. So
That's what's
I'm
up.
on it.
Wow, that's what's up. Yeah, there's definitely something for everybody. I like how you have everybody covered in the family, and man, there's so much going on. So like, as far as the planning for this whole week, because you said this is the first year you did it, a whole week of it.
Yeah.
Like, how far back did you have to start the planning for this?
We started actually working on this week back in last August, I believe, and putting that together. Our issue here for our Black programming has been a lack of resources and funding from the city and from our organizations and systems that could make this thing happen in the blink of an eye. So we spend a lot of time sacrificing planning for these events and fighting just to make sure the event can be a possibility. So our real in the guts planning on this really kind of started back in May, where in the future we need to have a solid 6 to 9 months planning time before we start advertising. So that's the goal for this year. We still are in the midst of fundraising for this event. So anyone that's interested in making a donation, you can definitely go to the Jump on It Week site and there'll be a spot there for you to, instead of buying a ticket, you can make a donation. But we're definitely fundraising still, and we're definitely fighting to make it happen. This year is going to be like the pilot. So once we can get this done and show what it is, then we'll be able to start moving into getting more corporate and national sponsors and more things that'll make it sustainable. Right now, this is me and my wife and our team jumping out the window, hoping and praying that we'll have a soft landing by way of support from everyone who know what we've been doing for decades, know what this is about, and know what it can turn into in the future. So I'm super excited. I'm super faithful, and I'm ready. So tomorrow we're gonna rock out. We partying. We got workshops, panels, discussions, education, resources, parties, concerts, festivals, basketball, and did I say parties? And I
Right.
forgot to mention parties. So we're gonna celebrate our culture from the rooter to the tutor, A to Z. We're gonna celebrate being free in the sense that we can make the choice to change what's going on. We do have that freedom. We're not really free in this system until we start to realize that we need to stop trying to be part of this system and create our own stuff. So that's what Jump On It is now. It used to be about jumping on reclaiming our city park and reclaiming our neighborhoods. So now it's about reclaiming who we are, reclaiming our culture. Because once we reclaim our culture, we'll stop allowing them to be culture vultures. They eat off of it, you know what I'm saying? And then they chew us up and spit us out and get a new one next year to do the same thing. So we got to start owning our situation, claiming our own situation, and then secretly planning, and don't go public with nothing until we're already ready to be unstoppable. And that's what it is. That's what we jumping on.
Okay. Wow, that's awesome. Really excited for the Jump On It week. This is amazing. Make sure y'all check out jumponitweek.com to get your tickets, all your information for all of the events. They have a full lineup of events. Like there's so much going on. It's definitely going to be live for show for show.
Yes.
Now, what I want to do also is you had sent us a video that you had did. It was the video of the song that you have with Mo3 and Trina. So is it okay if we go ahead and play that
Yeah,
as we end
yeah.
up the show? Okay.
It's not clean. It's not clean.
We'll
Just,
play just a clip. Just a clip. Okay.
I didn't know if we had to be clean because I almost cussed a couple of times. I get too
Oh,
in my feelings, and so I kept it clean. So I'm saying the video. No, we do have a I have an edited version online, I believe,
I do.
but
Oh, okay. That's
I
okay.
don't know. I don't know if this show is clean or not, but it definitely, the song is real. So yeah, I would love for you to play it.
Okay, cool. And before we do that, can you tell us where to check you out? Like what your social medias?
Nook Turner. Just Google Nook Turner. Everything Nook Turner. There may be a couple of them. TikTok. I am Nook Turner, but just Google Nook Turner, and you'll find all things Nook Turner.
Okay.
Even my website is nookturner.com. So
Okay.
jumponitweek.com and nookturner.com.
Okay. That's what's up. And oh, one other question, can you tell us when we should expect some new music from Nick Turner?
That's a great question. I'm actually I have an album done. So
Oh, okay.
I'm thinking fourth quarter this year, we just gonna go crazy with it. So I would say expect new Nook Turner music October, November. We're gonna end the year out with it, and we're gonna start next year going crazy. So my goal is for Jump on the Week next year that there is a Nook Turner festival that's part of that. That's everything Nook Turner. So yeah.
Okay.
So late fall, early winter, you'll start seeing what it do.
Okay. That's what's up. Congratulations on all of your success. And thank you so much for being on the show. We're going to go ahead and check out Nick
Thank you for
Turner's
having me.
song with featuring Mo3 and Trina, Put Your Hustle First. Thank you so much.
Yeah, let's rock.
Y'all already know what's going on. My motherfucking three. I'm fucking with my nigga Nook Turner. And jump on it. We live. That's on gang. You notice that things change, and your niggas ain't acting the same. Your bitch start running games, but you gotta remain the same. On the grind, I gotta get it, yeah. Go get the dollar, nigga, I'ma maintain. Move around if you ain't tryna work. Cause I'ma put my hustle first.
I'ma hustle until they know me. Fuck talking, you gotta show me. Put my dreams to the side for niggas that try to hold me. When your pockets get low, I bet you they leave you lonely. Now I stay a step ahead and my bread is my only home. See my mama go through too much, scraping to get a few bucks or anything she had to get me up on that school bus. I refuse to see my seeds, not see they daddy succeed. That's why I gotta go so hard, hit the pavement until it bleeds. The real ones I know, they feel me, they understanding the pain. Sacrifice all you got for a nigga and then he changed. And then the bitch I had the nerves to set you up for some change. Then she crying at your funeral, acting like she your main. They hate on you when you living and love you when you ain't breathing. That's why I wake up in the morning and hustle until the evening. Last night I had a dream I was a broke nigga. I hopped up, looked in the mirror and said, no nigga, hustle
you
first.
Notice that things won't change, and your niggas ain't acting the same. Your bitch start running games, but you gotta remain the same. On the grind, I gotta get it, yeah. Go get the dollar, nigga, I'ma maintain. Move around if you ain't tryna work, cause I'ma put my hustle first.
Trina, for my bitches that be boosting clothes, 3 baby daddies, they trying to reach them bigger goals. Every Saturday you headed to a funeral, but keep your head up, you almost there, you cannot fold. Your hustle is all you got. Winning the only option, losing is not. All you get is one shot. Execute the plot. Don't depend on no nigga begging. Stash your own pot. Yeah, be a queen with a dream. Don't let these niggas lie to you. Everything ain't what it seems. He hustled for a minute, then he put you on his team. Now you stop grinding. Now he playing with the green. Niggas slick out here. Keep faith in yourself and don't have no fear. I be grinding to the death of me, I solemnly swear. Breaking generational curses, that's it, I swear.
You notice that things won't change, and your niggas ain't acting the same. Your bitch start running games, but you gotta remain the same. On the grind, I gotta get it, yeah. Go get the dollar, nigga, I'ma maintain. Move around if you ain't tryna work, cause I'ma put my hustle first. You notice that things won't change, and your niggas ain't acting the same. Your bitch start running games, but you gotta remain the same. On the grind, I gotta get it, yeah. Go get the dollar, nigga, I'ma maintain. Move around if you ain't tryna work, cause I'ma put my hustle first.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Oh yes. That man, that's my new jam. That's my new jam. I like that. That's what's up. Thank you again for being on the show today, and much success for all of what you're doing. And thank you for everything you're doing in the community. It means a lot. And man, you're making history. I'll just say that you're already in the history books. That's what's up. Thank you so much. Y'all make sure y'all check out Nick Turner.
Thank you for having me.
All right, thank you.
All right, we'll
Bye-bye.
talk soon.